Hello, it's Aggie Joe. So, I was watching one of Mudahar's new videos, Some Ordinary Gamers, and he works in, if it's not IT, maybe it's cybersecurity, and he came out with a new video called "I Believe the FBI Made a Big Mistake." I think I'm gonna play this little bit, this little clip here, and we'll go dive into the lore after. Just to, well, that doesn't make any sense. So let's talk about the lore. The lore here is that the FBI have been trying to track down this hacking group, and it seems to appear that they do have Russian ties, and they are the same hacking group that has been hacking hospitals, businesses. They're also the same hacking group that were behind the casino, um, the casino hack, the MGM casino hacks back earlier this year, and it cost those casinos a lot of money, right? So these these businesses, because they're so rich and powerful, who's been targeting, they basically demanded the FBI, to take a look into this case, and it appears the FBI was successful, so they did take a W. But this is also how that quote "you may have won the battle but lost the war" kind of idea comes into effect. So I'm gonna play this little bit of clip here, and then we'll expand on what Muda's trying to say.
Understand, ladies and gentlemen, the FBI, while there was definitely a W to be had over here, this group wasn't actually taken down at all. In fact, they exist and they're more pissed than ever. The silver lining here is that they are now admitting to wanting to attack nuclear power plants, which, if you understand, this is what we refer to as critical infrastructure. And critical infrastructure is treated a lot differently than like a company or a business. It's one thing to attack like a casino and make them lose like tens of fifteens of millions of dollars a day or some shit. And yeah, that's bad. The feds definitely get involved there. But to then start escalating your attacks into what is known as legitimate terrorism, because here's the thing, this isn't a financial crime anymore. Attacking nuclear power plants, attacking hospitals, attacking critical infrastructure is literally falling into the purview of terrorism. And this is not when the
So, as you can hear, if you were able to listen to the clip that was playing from Mudahar, basically he was saying, I don't really go into the details of how they were able to capture or piss off this hacking group. Basically, they were able to sort of decrypt a couple of the codes that the hackers were using. Basically, I really don't know what to talk about. And they were able to get some keys, and they were able to take hold of one of the websites that the hacker group was using. And of course, when it comes to hackers, especially in cybersecurity, they're always one step ahead. It's always been true that crime has always been one step ahead of justice, but in this case, especially with technology, crime is like 10 steps ahead of justice. So the FBI, it's a minor success. It's a minor win, right? It's a minor W, because even though they were successful in seizing the website, the hacker group just created a new one, and they were able to seize control of everything else. And then the 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 hacking group basically said, all bets are off. A lot of these companies were asking for discounts for ransomware. A lot of these places were asking, for a little bit of mercy, and we weren't targeting anything specific. That's, as Mudahar alluded to, critical infrastructure. In one of the threads that the Russian group had shared, they threatened action against critical infrastructure. So, nuclear power plants, if that were ever to get hacked, that's devastating. That's next level devastation, because that could really cause a nuclear meltdown and create another Chernobyl kind of situation. But more, I would consider that terrorism, and that is grounds for war. That really is grounds for war. If they're to hack into a nuclear, if anything, they probably already hacked into the infrastructure already, and they already have access, and they're kind of just biding their time for a more appropriate situation for them to get into. Let me just unpause this for a sec, so Moodle Horror doesn't look like this.
FBI gets involved.
So I shouldn't be using Moodle Horror as any longer. I'll just open a new tab. So here's the thing: the FBI fucked up big time because in your fight for winning a battle, you may have lost the war. Now, you can say I don't want to think that the FBI didn't think this through. I want to believe that the FBI have a plan. Maybe they wanted to piss off the hackers so they were easier to track. Maybe they already are in the system, so they're just trying to track IP address and stuff like that, and try to see if they can at least pinpoint a geolocation of these hackers. Even though that they're in Russia, at least they'll be able to have proof or something and pressure Russia into I don't know, extraditing them to the U.S. or something like that, because the Russian hacking group, they had a certain they had principles, but now they kind of like all bets are off unless everything any of the countries associated with Russia, so like Belarus, the Stans, Armenia, any of those places are kind of like safe from hacking, but everyone else, all bets are off. They did play by a certain set of rules, and they were relatively merciful. They just wanted the money, and that was that, right? So, the website that was seized by the FBI, it was used to for clients to ask the hacking group to hack into a certain company and then demand some ransom, and then these companies, the hacker group will get like a certain percentage of the ransom. I believe that's how usually it works. They don't do this. They don't do this shit for free. They get paid for it, right? And I don't know what the next steps are in terms of strategy. I don't know. I will never know what the strategy is. Maybe the FBI just purposely put it out there that they did take control of the website, but then when you look at it in the bigger picture, you didn't take down the group. Why glorify or be elated on a victory that's really just a hill and celebrate it like it's a mountain when you haven't even conquered the mountain? Meaning, the group's still out there. You did not stop the group. The group is out there and they're coming. And that's what scares the living. Like, my balls are retreating into the deepest crevices of my I don't know, my genital area. They're retrieving. They're retrieving because that's how scared I am. They're becoming fallopian tubes. Like, what the fuck? I'm actually gonna change. Okay, I'm not gonna make the joke. But anyways, the that's jokes aside. Like, it's scary. Like, you really have to think about this, because if this group is this good, if they were principled, they probably have had access to a bunch of a bunch of things without you even knowing. And now that we pissed them off, they're just like, okay, all gloves are off. Let's get down to business and just send these mass ransomware shit that no one's gonna be able to pay, or you do it so much, all of a sudden the money that's supposed to be going to the U.S. is going somewhere else. Like, it's being redirected. And I'm kind of like nonpartisan in this. I'm not too concerned because I'm not American. However, it is something just to be concerned about, just in general, because if you're not part of the state, or the ally that the Russian groups wants to wants to have principles on, then you're screwed. You're fucked. This is no joke. You don't piss off a hacking group like this. Look at that guy that thought that he was able to track down Anonymous. He thought he won a battle, but the joke was on him, because this group, you don't challenge these people, man. You don't. I understand a bunch of rich people were upset, so they put your asses onto it. But even just publicizing it too, like, what was the motive behind that? Do you think that you pissed them off? Because, like I said, from what it looks like from a layperson's perspective, is you thought you got a victory. And yeah, you got a victory, but it was a victory that didn't matter. It honestly didn't matter. And what sucks too is because they've had already a bunch of companies that were on ransom already, and those companies are fucked. They're never gonna get their websites back or their assets back because whatever process that both groups used, it's gone. So it's it's scary. It's scary. I don't know, man. These people, you need to be careful about what victories you celebrate. Yes, it's good to celebrate your small victories in life, but don't celebrate too hard when you climb a hill and you still got a mountain to go. You know, and looks like this mountain is not even just regular old mountain. It's fucking Mount Everest over here, and lots of people die on this journey. Not many people survive going all the way to the peak. And even when you are at the peak, what's the first thing you do? Take a picture and you go down. You're not going to stay there, right? So just I man, I know it may seem like I'm just trying to elongate this video, but I'm just trying to get my feelings out there, you know what I mean? Like I don't know anything about computers, but I am not naive. Well, I'm not stupid. This has ramifications that may or may not be bigger than the Ukrainian war. It's possible because if this group targets critical infrastructure, that can be grounds for war. It can. Because, well, maybe it's not actual physical war, though. Maybe it's just like cyber war. And then the American hackers try to attack the Russian hackers or something. I don't know. Honestly, that's the best case scenario because of war. Because it just becomes a cyber war. That's the best case scenario. And then the worst case scenario is we all get conscripted and then we are forced to die for a bunch of rich people that really don't give a shit about us. So, it's a lose-lose. So, I'm just trying to see the benefits of at least one. So, it's not something, it's not a huge loss in my mind and I can get that off my chest and I can just go about my day. Just trying to survive day by day and see how that goes. Anyways, yeah, I would love for you guys to watch the video as well. Yeah, give it a watch because it's devastating. Anyways, yeah, later days.